Good afternoon, crafters and stampers. Hello and welcome to my Friday Facebook Live. I'm Sarah Chatello from Sassy Paper Crafts. I'm an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator, and today we are going to be making two alternate cards to the August Paper Pumpkin Kit Hope Box. So these are the cards that the kit makes, and this kit is actually, they hardly ever do this, it's on sale now in my online store. You do not have to be a Paper Pumpkin subscriber to order this box. If you go into my online store, go to kits and Paper Pumpkin, you will see this. There's also a refill kit for $12, I believe, if you already have this and want refills to make more of the cards, or just to get the extras to make the cards that we're making here today. Before I get started though, speaking of ordering, if you are going to place an online order in my store through August or September 1st, use this host code. I am doing a mystery host drawing. It's mystery host month. So any order at all, if you spend $5 and get some rhinestones, you're placed into the drawing right now. The rewards are at $20.53. So you get, I were to draw today, you would get $20 worth of free product. So every order that is placed bumps up that rewards total. So if you're going to place an order, use this code. There's also a link with the host code in the description of this video. And orders over $50 also qualify for celebration because that's still going on, and my August ordering special. So for $50, you get the color and contour tutorials, and for $100, you get the fresh freesia stamp and blends plus the tutorials. So let's get started on today's card. I'm going to go ahead and find my comments. I should have done that while I was talking. But we are using, like I said, the Hope box from August. So I'm not actually making the box out of my kit. My box came a little bit damaged, thanks USPS. It was a little bit damaged, so I can't really use it to make the box. So I'm going to be using the big butterfly there. And here's my video. So let's make this card first. So for this card, I got a piece of thick, hi Tara, I see you're on. I got a piece of thick Whisper White, and this is cut by 5.5 by 8.5 and scored at 4 1/4. We're just going to fold that in half, and I'm going to take my bone folder and flatten that crease out. And then this is the paper, a piece of the paper that comes in the kit. So we're going to be using that. And then I also have, get all the things. I also have 3 pieces of Melon Mambo, the butterfly. So this butterfly was one giant butterfly, and I just cut it in half with my paper trimmer. I just lined it up, cut right down the middle. So this card's going to be slightly different because the butterfly is facing the opposite direction now. And then I'm using one of the labels. They come in 3 different languages. I don't speak any other language other than English, so I'm going to flip that over and use that for my sentiment because I did like the look of that label. And then I'm going to get out the stamp set from the kit. And this is the stamp set. I'll turn around so you can see the words. I love this whole kit focuses on hope and encouragement and things, and I love butterflies. So there's 2 butterflies in this, a little flower stamp, a splatter stamp, which is what we're going to be using on this card, and lots of awesome sentiments. So let's mount our stamps. Like I said, I'm going to be using the splatter. I'm going to mount that on a B block. And then I need the Just a Note of Hope stamp. I'm going to be mounting that onto a C block. And then the butterfly, the little one. There's 2 butterflies. I'm going to be using the tiny one here. And I'm going to put that on an A block. Does the mango paper, oh, the Melon Mambo? No, it doesn't. This is additional. It's to what you get in the kit. This comes in the kit. The butterfly comes in the kit. The stamps come in the kit. This I grabbed from my personal stash. So you can use any color you have, though. If you have Bermuda Bay, it tells you on the back what colors coordinate with this. So Bermuda Bay, Blackberry Bliss, Bumblebee, Melon Mambo, Petal Pink, Pool Party, and Poppy Parade. So if you have any of those colors, those would work well here. So my Melon Mambo pieces are cut at 3 1/4 this way by 1 1/2. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the splatter stamp and move this stuff out of the way so I don't ink everything up. And I'm going to take my Melon Mambo ink pad. Actually, I lied. I'm going to take my Bermuda Bay ink pad. And I'm going to ink up the splatter. And I'm just going to stamp until I don't get any more stamp. So what this is called, this technique is called generation stamping or stamping off. A lot of times people stamp off onto scrap paper and stamp onto their card. I'm doing everything right on the cardstock because what we're going to do is cut this. So it's going to look like it all goes together, but it's going to be cut. And I'm just kind of going out and getting a little bit of faded splatters going on through there. And I want some more down here, but I don't want it quite so dark. So I'm just stamping off, and that looks good. And while I have this out, I'm going to ink up my sentiment. Tara said, oops, wrong name. That's okay. There's 53 colors. So I actually have them all memorized. I don't expect anyone else to. That's a lot of colors. So I'm inking that up in Bermuda Bay and just centering it on that label there. And now we're going to get the Melon Mambo out for the butterfly. And it does make it hard to remember all the names when every year Stampin' Up! Comes out with 5 new colors. I still have a hard time with the in colors. I messed up that butterfly there, but you know what? That's all right. We'll cover it. And I'll show you how to do that too. There are no mistakes in stamping. So I'm going to clean off my stamps quick using my Stampin' Scrub. And if you saw my Tuesday post, you see I showed you how to clean your Stampin' Scrub. Mine is freshly cleaned and nice and dry now, so there's no more of that residual ink on there. Those are all cleaned. And I'm just going to put them back because we're done with them. So I don't want to get anything mixed up or lose a stamp. So now I'm going to bring in my trimmer and we're going to cut our paper here. So these are 1 1/2 by 3 1/4. So I'm going to make the cuts here a 1/8 of an inch smaller. So I'm going to be cutting them at, wait a minute, nope, it's 1 3/8. So I'm cutting them at. So the way I do is I line it up at 1. There's 1/8 and then 3/8. So we're just going to make 2 cuts here. And then line it up again. There's 1/8 and 3/8. And then I'm just going to take a little bit of Stampin' Seal on the back and adhere that to the Melon Mambo cardstock. And now that that is done, we can put our card together. So to do that, I want to keep these together to give it that ombre look. The way I started was I put the middle one on first, because that way I can kind of see where the top and bottom should go. So I put the middle one on with a little bit of seal and kind of center it. Then I'll take the bottom, some seal, and I just like to line it up and then bring it down. Same thing on this side. Just line it up. Don't stick it down though. And then just move it up. I just kind of eyeball it. And that looks pretty centered and straight to me. So now we're going to take the dimensionals that come in the kit. And I'm going to put a few on our butterfly here. Actually, you know what? I didn't do that with this one. What I did, you can do it with this. You can take those and cut those in half if you'd like. I have mini dimensionals here. I'm going to use those for this guy. Or you could even cut the outer edge here of your dimensionals if you don't have the mini ones. I really like the mini ones. And they're relatively inexpensive, so I just like to have them on hand for projects like this where I want the smaller dimensionals. Take those and then peel the backing off. And then without sticking it down, I just kind of lined it up to that edge. And now you can stick once you have it all lined up. And then I did take the dimensionals from the paper pumpkin kit and put 2 on our sentiment. And also in the paper pumpkin kit, I have them from over there, are these really pretty sequins. So I'm just going to take my paper piercer. You could also use the tip of a pair of scissors, a pen, anything like that. And I said I was going to hide that. So we're just going to put a sequin on the butterfly there to hide my little oopsie. And then just put 2 more to just kind of jazz it up. So that is our first card. And see, I told you they'd be a little bit different. I just like that butterfly. So that's our first card. So now we're going to move on. We're going to make our second one. And this one's a little bit more involved, but it's still, I think, perfect for a casual crafter or even a beginner who's trying to just step up their card. So I have a piece of basic black cardstock that's 5.5 by 8.5, scored at 4 1/4. And then this Bermuda Bay panel that comes from the paper pumpkin kit is going to go there. And I also have a scrap piece of basic white. And we're going to do our stamping on this and a little bit of die cutting and some heat embossing. So I'm taking the big sentiment, the always hope because you never know what tomorrow will bring stamp, and I'm putting that on a D block. And then I'm just going to take my embossing buddy, which they don't make this anymore, but it just gets rid of all the static on the paper. So you could use a used dryer sheet. I've heard people say they put cornstarch in an old sock. They even sell these on Amazon still. I'm just removing all the static from my paper. And my Versamark ink pad, which is just a watermark ink. It's clear. So you're probably not going to be able to see it. I'm just inking my stamp really well. I'm not pushing too hard, just tapping very lightly. And I kind of want to center it a little bit because we are die cutting this, so I want to make sure I have enough room on all 4 sides. And then I'm taking some black embossing powder. This one is super old, but they do sell them still in the 3-pack. It's the basic, I think it's Basics Embossing Powders pack. And then I just have a piece of printer paper here to catch the excess. I'm just going to sprinkle that over where I stamped. And this stuff lasts literally forever. I've probably had that container for at least 5 to 10 years. And I'm just tapping off the excess. I think I need to just go over a little bit. I want it to be nice and shiny. And I'll show you what I mean in a minute. Heat embossing is super cool, and it's a really inexpensive way to make your cards stand out. So if you're a beginner and you don't want to get into die cutting or dry embossing with like a die cut machine or anything like that, this is a really inexpensive way to step up your cards. You can do this with any stamp, any image, any sentiment. I mostly heat emboss sentiments, but the images look really cool too. So now, since that's on there, I'm gonna, get my heat tool and bump everything in my way. And I'm gonna try to show you the magic here. Okay, so I know that was really hard to see and it was probably loud. Sorry about that. But if you want to see what heat embossing really looks like, it looks better with not black, probably, but you can see it shine there. I did a video last week where I used gold and you could really see it change. So if you want to see heat embossing in action, watch my live from last week to see me use the gold. So now I'm going to get out my layering circles dies. I'm going to use the largest scallop circle. So I need my Stampin' Cut and Emboss machine. And then my plates. My number 1 platform, the number 2 cutting, or not cutting plate, but the number 2 pad there, a cutting plate, and then our embossed sentiment, our die, and I'm just going to center that, and then a second cutting plate, and I'm just going to run that through. So it pops out and it looks like that. I'll set that aside and move my machine and everything out of the way. And we can put our card together. And there's my base, my Bermuda Bay piece. The kit also comes with this Blackberry Bliss ribbon. This is gorgeous. It's kind of frayed in some spots, but it's okay. I like the way it looks. I'm just going to kind of roughly measure. And we're going to tape that with some Scotch tape to the back. No, crooked. Stick some tape on one end and flip that over. Put it about a third of the way down. And just wrap it around. And then we're going to take some of the die cuts from the kit, and I'm going to pop out that tomorrow. And hope. And don't throw the other language ones away, because you can always pop those out and stamp on this side, which is probably what I'm going to do. Because like I said, I don't speak other languages, so I'm probably not going to use those. So I'm just going to get a couple of dimensionals, put one on the back of the hope, and 2 on the back of tomorrow. And then I just line it up with the word and just cover it. And then flip that over. And I'm going to take about 5 dimensionals stick them on our scallop circle. And I'm just going to center that about there. And the next step is these beautiful butterflies that also come in the kit. I'm just going to pop 3 of them out. And glue dots come with the paper pumpkin kit, but I can't be bothered with those, so I'm going to use my roll of glue dots because honestly, it's the backings for me. They're so small and I just have a hard time. So I'm going to use regular old glue dots and just kind of scrunch it up and randomly place my butterflies on. And then the last part is to grab those sequins again. Where did I put them? I set them down and now I don't know where they went. Well, the last part is you put sequins on the butterflies. And I don't know where I put the sequins, but I put 3, 1 on each butterfly. And then we just adhere this to our card base. And don't forget to put a white piece on the inside so that way you can write your message. No idea where those sequins went. I was literally just holding them. But I will have to find them and add them later because I have no idea where they disappeared to. So those are our cards today. And I want to congratulate Tara Hall. You won the giveaway for the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper. And to win on my next giveaway, which would be next Friday, I'm giving away the Expressions in Ink Designer Series paper again. So just leave a comment on this video and I will draw a winner next Friday morning. Join my VIP group to see my live on Sunday at 11 a.m. The link should be in the description of this video. If it's not, just hit the link tree, Sassy Paper Crafts links, and you can join my VIP group that way. And until then, or until Sunday, have a great weekend, everybody. Bye.